just as soon as I thought I was out of the life of making Spider-Man video essay content, just making Spider-Man videos, you know, associated by my friends as the one and only Spider-Man YouTuber, I think life is so dandy and perfect. I'm out here making horror video essays. I'm out here trying to do something outside of the box with Spookorama videos, but no! The Spider-Man community just manages to pull me right the fuck back in. And somehow, someway, you know, it's always something new in the Spider-Man community, isn't it? It's always something new in the Spider-Man fan film community, you know. The last time I talked about a Spider-Man fan film, or just anything Spider-Man related, was Locust Gardens, the Spider. One new thing in the Spider-Man fan film. And you know, as soon as I'm also trying to write something new and different, you know, trying to get my next video essay piece out there on the finished Ultimate Spider-Man run, you know, the new one by Jonathan Hickman that's really good and worth the damn read that I am procrastinating so hard on. I am on the verge of just breaking down. But yeah, look. We gotta talk about another Spider-Man fan film on this video. I don't know what's happening to me currently. It looks like I'm having, you know, what would this be called? Instead of a midlife crisis, a Spider-Man life crisis of my own over here.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
But look, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Training Day, and while I wish it was starring the one and only Mac Daddy of them all, you know, Denzel Washington, and the one and only Ethan Hawke, this is essentially what you get when Spider-Man starts off his first year. Instead of being the superhero, Instead of being the superhero, the wall-crawling menace we all know and love, he's just the douchebag that first starts and wants to get in it for the
money.
Don't forget the bitches.
As Uncle Ben once would say. Alright, now look. I'm having a Spider-Man midlife crisis over here. I haven't worn this suit in so long. I look probably fatter than I did before, so let's get right into this video. I'm already running out of breath. Goddamn, I'm so out of shape. Let's get into this, guys. It's your friendly neighborhood host, that guy Frankie. Yours truly, swinging into action.
I'm too old for this shit.
Alright, now look, like I said, this is not Denzel's Training Day, so don't expect some razor levels of suave or a broody emo who had a massive glow up after Twilight. Think again, webhead, think again. This iteration and story of the wall-crawling menace brings us with him on his first day as the hero we would know him. It does give us some important moments that the film will utilize, such as primary antagonists and the hardships that Peter Parker faced and still currently faces, learning and understanding the importance of his powers, the mantle of being a superhero, and the toll that it takes. Spider-Man Training Day is a fun movie, and like most fan films, there is love and passion that oozes on screen and off, especially when I got to talk to Colin about the movie. Colin, the writer, the director, the editor, the cameraman. God damn, you got more jobs on your resume than Peter Parker had cash in the Raimi movies, man. What the hell? Holy shit. It's really cool to see not just Spider-Man, but see the character, the humanity of him, seeing him vulnerable. Whether it's being bullied by Flash briefly, or seeing him both vulnerable and human, makes for a good story that draws the audience interest, as we don't want to just see cool shit, flips and web swinging. Sometimes we want to see Spider-Man being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Last thing you want is just fucking flips without anything. That's like AEW when it comes to storytelling, because they have no goddamn storytelling. Excuse me while I do some wrestling knowledge right there. I love AEW, but goddamn. But look, let's get back to Spider-Man. And don't worry, there are some web-swinging scenes, but don't judge a book by its cover with their editing, alright? For a fan film, this works, and I have to remember that these aren't motion picture blockbuster level-esque films. Just fans with a heart that want to give something back to the fandom. And this is all just on a 40-minute runtime as well. Like, how the hell is that possible? 40 minutes of runtime, and it does its best to deliver. Swinging back to the past, you'll know that Peter originally did the superhero gig for fame.
Great big booty bitches.
Eventually got our hero, as like all Spider-Man origin stories, we have to see our boy get humbled real quick and orphaned like his name was Bruce Wayne. This all happens thanks to the movie's primary antagonist, the man that's hiding in the shadows of the movie. Cletus Cassidy. Carnage has some problems for me that I'll discuss towards the end of the video, but I like their approach to the character. Instead of being the symbiote monster that we all know, it goes back to its roots. He's a villain that I didn't expect to see for the fan film's origin, as this is a tough mama to write. This is a character that you have to be extremely careful on, because you don't want to be too over the top, but you also don't want to be underwhelming when writing a psychopath, a slasher villain like Cletus Cassidy. How did they do that? He's still the same psycho you don't want to see in the middle of the night in an alley. This is like the guy that would remind me of when I was back in Yuma. If you're ever in Yuma, stay the hell out of Okie Town. Trust me, you'll do yourself a favor if you stay out of Okie Town. I'm moving on. Pete's double life is still the same. Most nerds know by now.
Brilliant but lazy.
And still somehow gets his ass handed to him by Flash every now and then, to being New York's finest, New York's one and only. Colin does a great job at portraying Peter, whether it's capturing the raw emotion when we can see his expressions without the mask, or finding ways of communicating through his body language with the mask itself. Some examples I can pick range from scenes like when he meets a random New Yorker and tells them his story without trauma dumping like I do on my first dates, and that probably explains why I'm still single out there. But what's even better is the setting. In a lot of ways, like I mentioned to Colin, Spider-Man Training Day feels like Insomniac Spider-Man in the way of capturing Spidey's humanity and friendly characteristics, with New York being this giant central key role in the movie. Whether it's the extras or the civilians in this film, it adds to the story. Everyone plays a small part, or even a big part, even if they're just random people just going by their daily lives in this film. And that's something you don't really see in a lot of fan films when it comes to tackling Spider-Man as a whole. Training Day showcases Peter handing out flyers to Aunt May's feast shelter in hopes to help those in need. Or hell, Peter's even seen taking selfies with NPCs just like the video game, to holding a conversation with a deaf civilian and having a heart-to-heart moment as to why he does the things he does. Feels close to Andrew Garfield's character when he has the heart-to-heart conversation. The way that this city is used as a character just brings the movie to life and adds layers to the storytelling in it. Scenes like these help capture the character in a lighter manner, but there are also times where we have to see the darkest aspects in the story. With Cletus being the main antagonist, we have to see reality for what it is, as Peter has to prevent him from murdering more people and help a family whose baby gets kidnapped by the maniac. But don't worry, no Willem Dafoe jump scare here. At the end of the day, Peter brings Cletus to justice and saves the day, yada yada yada. Now look, let's get into the aspects of the film and what I really want to talk about. Break it apart and build it back together. Carnage is a character that really surprised me. As I mentioned earlier in this video, there are probably other iterations of the character out there in other fan films, but this was no doubt one of the first times I'd seen the character done in a fan film in a very, very bold way. Spider-Man Training Day didn't use Cletus as the symbiote monster like I stated earlier. We all know him better as Carnage, but in this iteration they used Cletus in a more grounded way that would still come off like his comic book counterpart, the psychopath, the monster you would see in slasher movies. At times his scenes were really good and I loved when he put on the mask, as there was a voice distinction with them, kind of like Scarecrow in Batman Begins. Now there are moments in the film that showcase the brutality and the insanity of Cletus, whether it's killing a security guard for not being let into a nightclub, following Spider-Man as if their fates were intertwined. The conversations that Cletus and Spider-Man have also remind me of Green Goblin and Spider-Man, but it just feels a lot more different. It feels just a lot more terrifying when it's a serial killer trying to have this conversation with Peter about their fate, their destiny with each other. Now, the actor who portrays Cletus is the stand-in and does voice the human aspect of Cletus, does a very outstanding job, and you could tell is having fun and going over the top when the script called for it. Cletus Cassidy is this evil that even if he gets captured or dies, there will always be more like him, and it's tough for Spider-Man to let reality set in, because even if he does something good, there's always going to be someone worse than Cletus out there just waiting to let the beast within come out. Now look, it still shocks me that Colin also actually voiced Carnage and gave it that extra flair to make this character stand out and feel special for the story.
Now that the spider's gone, I can enact my plan.
After hearing about Spider-Man on the news, Cletus decides to have a chat with his old rival. Doing so, he captures Peter and literally buries him alive in a cemetery in one of the most fucked up possible ways. Now, this was a little funny for me because the lighter kind of killed it for me, and it would have been a little cooler if you had a regular lighter, or, you know, one of those movie lighters that are metal. But look, this was still pretty fun and it was a cool shot and visual. I love this portrayal of Cletus, but I wish we got to see more of the monster, and not so much the symbiote, but more insanity of Cletus, because I feel that if they added just some more horror elements with Cletus in the movie, it would have made it even better. But for what we get, it's still a fun and awesome movie. I'm not knocking on Colin and his crew since they still pulled off Cletus without the symbiote, but if there's ever a sequel,
Face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel.
please, please, please let me get what I want. Just sprinkle in more horror with Cletus and I'll forever shut up. Please. Aside from the audio dub not transitioning well in a few scenes, the rest of this film was edited really well. The soundtrack choice, CDM Visuals gets a pass for using Hopstank's The Reason, MCR's The Black Parade. Thank you for adding into my midlife crisis and making me emo again like I was in middle school, Colin. I hate you for this. I hate you. Above all that, however, the swing scenes were edited quite well. While for some people, I already hear them complaining or saying something like, it's not real, why does it feel like a PS2 cut? Hey man, look. Blender is fucking tough, especially when making a fan film. The way that the budgets go and all this, it adds a whole lot of layers into it. I will take what I can get, and at the end of the day, like I've said, this is not a blockbuster-esque film. This is a fan film where passion and creativity can still be displayed. It doesn't have to look perfect. It is great at the end of the day. Some movies have the budget for it, where others take the risk to make any of this remotely possible. It's always about quality over the quantity. Some of the best fan films I've seen have okay CGI and editing and have the better story and depiction of the characters, as well as the world building aspects, where some go really into making it look pretty but struggle into finding the characters, making their stories relatable to us, the audience. So this is a movie where they definitely chose quality over quantity. One of the things that I didn't notice up until my second watch of this movie, when I looked at it a lot more carefully, just to piece more of the story and the ambition that this movie was going for, is how a lot of the characters and how a lot of moments come full circle. With Flash being Peter Parker's bully, and with Peter Parker being Spider-Man, there is a moment where Spider-Man does end up saving a civilian, only to find out that it was Flash Thompson being held hostage, and they have this heart-to-heart moment, and it's hard for Peter to just let it go, as this is a guy that just beats the crap out of him on a daily, only for Flash to apologize mostly to Spider-Man by venting to him about how he doesn't want to be this asshole anymore, how he feels bad about picking on the little guy. It kind of heals Peter, as he knows that this is good, he can get some closure off of it. This is more of a one-on-one moment with the guy that used to hate him but could now possibly be his best friend later on down the road if they go that route. And in a sense, with everything coming full circle with certain characters, I feel like it does make sense, especially with Cletus and with Peter Parker, as in Cletus' own ways, with their fates being intertwined in this fate and destiny, it's like Peter has to come face to face with this monster in order for him to become Spider-Man, in order for him to fully be the wall-crawling menace. Overall, this is a film I'd recommend. We should always try to support one another, and I think Colin's cool. Aside from, again, entering my DMs, I thought he was an Instagram e-girl bot trying to hack into my account. While you're at it, feel free to check out the rest of his work over on CDM Visuals. He's done comedy and horror, so I know what I'll be tuning into from here. Feel free to tell Colin your thoughts on either my channel or his channel. I'll link the movie down below. As always, I've been your friendly neighborhood host, that guy Frankie. Yours truly. Stay groovy and stay awesome, nerds.
Shit!